Okay, so again, welcome everyone to today's webinar. It is our first webinar in our pre-arrival series for students who have been admitted to graduate studies at York. So congratulations, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us for this hour-long webinar. We hope that it gives you a lot more information and gives you some next steps to take as you approach the summer before we get started in grad studies in September. So the title for today, So You've Been Admitted, What's Next? Our main presenters today are Andrienne and Uzma, and we'll have them introduce themselves as they do their slides. My name's Eileen. I'm the grad recruiter here at York, and I'll just be doing the intro today. As you can see in the chat, if you do have any questions throughout this presentation, please put them in the Q&A. We'll be happy to answer them. Yes, the session is being recorded and it will be available on YouTube in 1 to 2 weeks. We will email all registrants a follow-up email that includes the link to YouTube. So before we get started with the content, we are going to do a land acknowledgement for the land that York University is currently on. Now, this is for land here in North Toronto. If that's not your physical location, I would encourage you to look up what the land acknowledgement is for your current territory that you're on. So, First Nations people have lived on this part of Turtle Island for millennia, stewarding the land, the water, and all that contributes to life in this region. Today, the culture and presence of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples enrich the land and people of this territory. More than 2 centuries ago, the Mississauga people welcomed settlers to this territory, providing sustenance and engaging in trade and commerce. Today, York campuses are located on the Toronto Purchase Treaty Number 13 lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the lands of the Anishinaabe of the Williams Treaties First Nations. Our campuses are also situated on the traditional territories of the Huron-Wendat and the Haudenosaunee. Treaty history is foundational, and it is our collective responsibility to honor the land as we honor and respect those who have gone before us, those who are here now, and those who have yet to come. We are grateful for the opportunity to be learning, working, and thriving on this land, and we commit to learn the truth and be active in the process of reconciliation. Thank you, and now I will turn it over to Uzma, who will do the next section of the presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Uzma, and I'm the Associate Director for Graduate Recruitment and Conversion at the Faculty of Graduate Studies at York University. So before we get started, it would be either a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you've joined us from. And I want to just take a moment to really acknowledge something important. It's an honor to have you here. Each of you represents persistence, ambition, and a belief in something bigger for your future. Every year, York University receives thousands of applications for postgraduate education, and the fact that you're sitting here logged onto this webinar, taking time out of your busy day and week with an offer or having accepted one, means that you have already distinguished yourself in a highly competitive process. That is not something to take lightly, so take a moment, even if it's a quiet one, give yourself a well-deserved pat on the back. Let's just put this in global perspective. Around 7 to 8% of the world's population holds a master's degree, and less than 1% of that goes on to complete a PhD. So by choosing this path, you are stepping into a space that only a very small percentage of people in the world will ever reach. And when we look at this through a gender lens, it becomes even more meaningful. With women with master's degrees make up only about 3 to 4% of the global population, even less than that who go on for a PhD. So for the many of you who are here, this journey is not just a personal achievement, it's part of a broader shift in access, representation, and opportunity. That's the room that you're in today, a group of individuals who have worked hard to get here and who are now part of a very select global community. Today's session is designed to help you take that next step with confidence to make your transition smoother, answer your questions, and start building your connection to the York community even before you arrive. Now let's get started on all the good stuff. So in today's agenda, we're going to cover graduate studies at York University, your immediate next steps, important academic dates, the services available, upcoming events, and again, we do have a Q&A section where you can pop your questions in the chat, and we will go through these questions once we've covered all the information. But hopefully, as we go through, most of your questions will already be answered. Next slide, please, Eileen. All right, so what exactly comes under graduate studies at York University? So we've got the resource faculties and we've got the Faculty of Graduate Studies, and combined this is kind of what makes up graduate studies at York, right? So you're going to be working with kind of both of us. You've already been in touch with the Faculty of Grad Studies, which is kind of like an umbrella housing all of the other amazing faculties and programs that we have. And together we will work with you to ensure that this process is as smooth as possible, work with you on course registration, navigation through your studies, any kind of support that you need, all the way up to graduation. All right, next, please. So this is kind of a little bit more detail in regards to all of the different portfolios that are at the Faculty of Graduate Studies. So you've got things that are covered under student affairs. For example, you've got milestones, you've got registration, the enrollment processes. We've got a wonderful finance and funding portfolio in which you're going to be looking at graduate funding, one-on-one appointments, fellowships. We've got research and awards. We've got academic affairs covering all the nitty-gritty, the professional skills, academic journey, supervision. And then we've got graduate wellness. So graduate wellness will look at kind of things that to help you feel supported throughout your journey here, counseling sessions, anytime that you need support or you feel like you're struggling, certificate programs as well. All of this combined is the Faculty of Graduate Studies. Next slide, please, Eileen. So we're going to be covering quite a few things. This is just a visual for anyone. So we're going to go through each of these in a little more detail to make sure that you can set up everything step by step. And again, this is recorded so that you can go back to this to make sure that you haven't missed on anything. But let's go through all of these in a little bit more detail. Next slide, please, Eileen. Okay, first off, if you're here, that means that you've received an offer or you've already accepted it. If you haven't accepted your offer already, the key step, first of all, is to go to MyFile and accept your place. And if you do have any questions in regards to, the conditions and all, that's all going to be laid out in your offer letter. You can also reach out to the program if you've got any questions, or the Faculty of Grad Studies. We'll drop our details in the chat as well. So once you've accepted your offer, you will have different accesses and different things that will be available to you, right? The second thing, if you are conditionally admitted to your program, you will receive a deadline and the list of required documentation to complete all of the conditions that are pertaining to your offer of admission. Right. The third step now, how to contact your graduate office. So again, we're leaving all the links in the chat. So this is a great space for you to receive more information about advising, courses, program orientation, how to reach out to your supervisors, if there's any kind of support that they can provide in case you need any accommodations, etc. Just continue to reach out. And, the faculties and the programs are here to ensure that your journey is as supported and as smooth as possible. So please don't hesitate. Next slide, please, Eileen. Okay. Now, the next step is to set up all of your online kind of Passport York authentication. So there's a link in how you can get started. So you're going to be setting up your Passport York is very important. It's going to be used throughout your student journey for a lot of logins, a lot of services that you are going to need. So make sure that you look at what your York ID is, because you are not going to be able to go and change that. So have a look at something that you're comfortable using throughout your time at York University. Take a moment to join the Fall 2026 Incoming Class Facebook group. This is a great way for you to stay connected in regards to information, community events, and one of the things that a lot of grad students face, especially during the long hours of research or work, etc., is that sometimes you might feel that you're in a space in which you just need somebody else to reach out, to speak to go and have coffee with, to kind of have someone pick your brain or pick their brain, and to feel supported in a way in which, there's a virtual space, but these virtual spaces can become wonderful physical places as well. So I do encourage, even if you don't think that you are active on Facebook, do take a moment to join your class and make new friends. This is your community. Yes, it is important for you to get all the work done, do your research, and graduate successfully. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be having a good time. You shouldn't be interacting. You shouldn't be enjoying your life as a graduate student on campus. So definitely, that's something I do emphasize to my graduate students. The next step after that is to get your YU card. So this is York's official photo identification. You can use it for campus-wide as a payment option, and it is also granted with access for a lot of key services such as the library. There will be recreational facilities for exams. You can get a lot of student discounts as well using the YU card. Access to events, etc. So this is something that you definitely need. Do not forget your passport, York, and your YU card. Essential, and also a great tip, just keep a photo of it just in case, because you do need your student ID at a lot of places as well. The next slide, please. Sorry, from here on, I am handing it over to Andriane, who will be taking you through the next steps.
Thank you so much, Usma. So, hi everyone. My name is Andréane Dibois-Amani. I'm the Associate Director of Student Affairs, and my team handles really anything pertaining to record, enrollment, petitions, as well as milestones and completion. So, I think in a nutshell, we will be together throughout the entirety of your degree and your journey. Next slide, Eileen, please. So at this point of your checklist, it will be time for you to do that for which you are here, which is to register into the terms of studies. But one thing that I wanted to highlight is that as a graduate student, it's important for you to know the distinction between registering into the term and enrolling in courses. So remember that as a grad student, you pay per term and not per course. So there will be instances where you will see that you can register into your term first and then sort out the courses after. Okay, so please note that also for those doing the thesis and dissertation, at that point in time, throughout the end of your journey, you might not necessarily enroll in any course per se because you'll be doing research and writing on your paper. So that's good for you to remember that. Once your registration is complete, you will be charged for your semesters of registration, and you will need to address all the outstanding fees. And those fees will be posted on something that we call the student account, which is can be seen in one way as your York bank account as well. So now we will talk about registration. Now, Eileen, can you go to the next slide, please? It's important when it comes to registration to remember that FGS has key important dates, right? So the first date is the one that you have to remember. So June 25th is when registration will open for fall 26 and winter 27. And the last day that you will have to register for the fall term will be August 20th, okay? As of August 21st onward, if you register for the fall, you will be charged something called the 200 late fee. That is a fee that FGS charges to any student that register late. So I want to take a minute here, 10 seconds, and ask you guys to please pause and add those two dates to your calendar, because every year I get students who miss those deadlines, and sometimes they will ask for us to refund the 200 late fee. And I want to emphasize the fact that the 200 late fee is non-refundable. So please take a second and add those two dates to your calendar. June 25th, that's when the fall 26 registration will open. And August 20th, that is the deadline you will have to register for the fall term. Now, one thing I want to add as well is the fact that you can register for the winter term during that timeline as well, because sometimes students will focus on the fall, ignore the winter, and miss the winter deadline and get charged late fee for those two terms. So please remember to do those two dates. And lastly, it's important for you to note that as a grad student, you have to maintain continuous registration throughout the three academic terms, which has fall, winter, and summer. And we'll have a chance to talk more about those in the future. I will now pass it on to Eileen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I will talk a little bit about graduate housing. I see there are a lot of questions in the chat. We're getting, or in the Q&A, I should say. We're getting to them as quickly as we can. So just know that we're not ignoring your question. We see it and we will answer it. So graduate housing. We do have housing available on campus if that is something that you would like to pursue. The links will be in the chat. At Kiel, there are apartments for graduate and law students. So if you would like to live in that situation, then you would need to apply as soon as you have your offer. Um, and you would liaise directly with them. Glendon, there is also residence on campus if you are attending a Glendon program. If you were on the Markham campus, the Kiel campus housing would be open to you, and you could use the shuttle to get to the Markham campus. It's very quick. It's like 20 minutes. So that's for on-campus housing. For off-campus, we do have a couple of resources that you can look for to review off-campus housing listings, a map of Toronto's neighborhoods, and York University is on TTC Line 1. On the north end, but if you live anywhere on line 1 or line 2, or even on one of the streetcar lines, it's usually pretty easy to get to York. We also have a ton of students who are living in communities around the Greater Toronto area who choose to take other transit, commute by transit, whether that's GO Transit, Mississauga My Way, Zoom Transit from Brampton, that kind of thing. So, we do have some resources for housing. We wouldn't arrange housing for students, but you can have a look at those. We'll also share in the chat a link to the cost of living in Toronto if you're not familiar, especially if you are coming from outside of Canada. The price of things just may be a little bit different from what you're used to. Everything, of course, obviously is in Canadian dollars. So that's a little bit about housing. Then for healthcare, um, so for health plans, the YUGSA or York University Graduate Student Health and Dental Plan is mandatory for all full-time students. You're automatically enrolled in that. If you have comparable health or dental coverage, you can opt out of the plan. There's an opt-in, opt-out period at the beginning of September, which you can see via the link. So part-time students can join the plan by opting in via the website and paying the premiums online. If you are someone who has been offered a teaching assistant role at the university as part of your funding package, you would then be represented by the union QP 3903. And as a TA, you would have, or by virtue of that employment, you would have extended healthcare benefits through the union. So that link is there as well. Then lastly, and I know this is confusing because technically you could be in each of these three categories, but York International, there is a mandatory health insurance plan. If you're an international student, it's called UHIP, so University Health Insurance Plan. I don't know if the premiums for 2026 have been listed yet, but for fall 2025, it was $792 for the full year for one individual student. So that is kind of the equivalent to what domestic students have in the form of OHIP, Ontario Health Insurance Plan, but it is mandatory for all international students. So you may be covered by one or more of these plans, depending on your student status. For health services, we do have grad wellness services in the Faculty of Graduate Studies. If you would like to see a counselor, there are certificate and wellness programs that you can pursue as well. In addition, there is student counseling and development located in the registrar's office building, the Bennett Center, in case you need, specialized care that maybe is above and beyond what we offer in the Faculty of Graduate Studies. Then the Apple Tree Medical Center is in York Lanes, where you can see a doctor. The York Lanes Dental Office is available in York Lanes as well. So you don't really even need to leave campus or, even technically the building to receive these health services. So now, Uzma, I will turn it back over to you to go over York International.
Great, thanks. Let's put the slide up. Okay, so international procedures. Before you arrive, it is very important for you to follow certain steps as soon as you have accepted your offer to York University. So I do recommend that you go to review the York International page because they've got a wealth of information for our international students to feel supported, to feel prepared. Look at all of the things that you should do as a checklist for, pre-arrival before you get here, all of the documents that you need, and also for obviously study permit or visa support. So all the information is there. Book some time with some of the York International advisors if necessary, but overall, we have put all of the information in a very straightforward manner so that you can navigate your way through the website and get all of the information that you need. And we've also put some helpful information in the chat for information that you can get from other current students who are at York University, talking about their experience coming from different countries around the world. So when you have the time, take some, go through that as well. You might find that those insights helpful as well. Next slide, please, Ali. All right, and we are coming towards the end. So as part of our pre-arrival webinars, we have quite a few events in which we'd like for you to join as and when you can, but try to take out some time to join them live because it's a good opportunity for you to ask your questions and have them answered at the end of each session as well. So we've put the link in the chat for you to register for all of these different events. Again, one of the best ways to succeed at something as important as postgraduate education is to be well prepared. And we want to make sure that we are in a position to ease all of your anxiety, answer all of your questions, and make you feel that you are 100% confident as you step onto the campus, ready to get started with your research and your projects. So go through all of these events that are upcoming, mark them on your calendar, and now, as we come to the end of today's session, again, I just want to say thank you for your time, your energy, and choosing to be here. I'm truly looking forward to welcoming all of you in fall 2026. You'll arrive with your own dreams, your ambitions, and for many of you, the hopes of your families and communities as well. And that's a very powerful thing to carry and also a very meaningful one. From here on, this journey is going to shape you, not just academically, but personally. You are going to grow, you're going to feel challenged, and you're going to see the world differently. And in many ways, I think that you're going to leave here as a different person than the one who's entered York in fall 2026. And that's going to matter because the work that you do, the perspectives that you build, the path that you go on to create will contribute in ways that are both big and small to a better world and to the legacy of the generations that come after you. Take a moment to recognize how far you've come already. Getting to this point is no small achievement. It reflects your resilience, your capability, and your potential. Congratulations again. We are excited to have you join us, and we can't wait to see the impact that you're going to make. We're wishing you safe preparations over the coming months. We look forward to seeing you on campus, and before that, we look forward to seeing you on all of the upcoming events. And I think now we're ready to take some questions, Eileen.